Taurus, something is wrong. Something is very wrong. And you know it, even if you can't put it into words yet. There's something in the air that shouldn't be there. A tension that you can feel in your skin. An uneasiness that doesn't match your stable and calm nature. You've been trying to ignore it. You've been trying to rationalize it. But deep down in your heart, you know that something important is about to happen. And this thing won't ask your permission. It won't warn you beforehand. It will simply appear in your life through signs that you won't be able to ignore. Signs that will start to appear in this last week of June as warnings of a reality that you can't yet fully see. I'm going to tell you a truth you may not want to hear. There is an invisible force that has been watching you for weeks. It's not something fantasy or imaginary, it's something real, tangible, that has been influencing the events around you in subtle but unmistakable ways. Have you noticed that certain things in your life have been happening in a strangely coordinated way lately? Conversations that come at just the right moment, meetings that seem planned by someone you can't see, decisions other people make that affect your life in ways that seem too purposeful to be coincidence. This isn't paranoia. This is reality rearranging itself around you, preparing the ground for something that needs to happen, and this preparation is coming to an end. The last week of June is when the signs will finally become clear enough that even you, with all your tendency to seek practical and logical explanations, can no longer deny what's happening. The question isn't whether you'll see these signs. The question is whether you'll have the courage to recognize what they really mean. What I'm going to reveal to you now is not a theory or speculation. It's a truth that has been manifesting itself in the lives of Taurians around the world in recent weeks, and that will reach its peak precisely in the last days of June. A truth about a direct interference in your reality that has a very specific and very personal purpose. During this last week of June, you will receive signs that will function as pieces of a gigantic puzzle. When you finally manage to put this puzzle together, the image that will appear will reveal something about your future that will completely change the way you see your possibilities. Some of these signs will seem positive, others will seem worrying. But they all have the same purpose, to prepare you for a choice that you will have to make very soon. A choice that will determine whether you continue living the life you have been living until now, or whether you finally embrace the life that has always been waiting for you on the other side of fear. I can't guarantee that you'll like what you discover about yourself and your current situation this week. I can't promise that the signs will reassure you or comfort you. In fact, they'll probably do just the opposite. They'll show you truths you've been avoiding, realities you've been ignoring, possibilities you've been rejecting because they seem too risky for your cautious nature. But here's something I need you to understand. These signs aren't coming to scare you. They're coming to set you free, to show you that the security you've been seeking through control and predictability is actually a prison of your own making. And that on the other side of that prison lies a life that's much richer, much more authentic, and much more aligned with who you really are. Can you sense how trapped you've been feeling lately, even though you have everything you thought you wanted? Taurus, I need you to understand something fundamental about your nature. You are programmed to seek stability, security, predictability, and there is nothing wrong with that. But there is a difference between seeking genuine stability and hiding behind a false sense of security. And for the past few months, perhaps even the past few years, you have been confusing the two. You have been clinging to situations, people and circumstances that give you the illusion of control, but are actually limiting your growth and authenticity. The signs that will appear in this last week of June will act as a brutal mirror, showing you exactly where you have been choosing false security over true expansion. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. It will shake up everything you thought you had figured out in your life. It will question decisions you were sure were right. It will reveal aspects of your personality and potential that you've kept hidden because they don't fit the image of a practical, down-to-earth person you cultivate. But this discomfort is necessary. It's the price you pay for having remained too long in a comfort zone that has, in fact, become a zone of stagnation. Is the life you're living now really the life you want to live? Or is it just the life that feels safer and less scary than the alternatives? During this last week of June, you will receive at least 3 different types of signals. The first type will come from other people, seemingly casual conversations that will touch on exactly where you have questions. Comments that will sound like the person knows exactly what you have been thinking these past few days. Invitations or opportunities that will come from people who had no idea you were looking for exactly that. Don't ignore these moments. Don't dismiss them as coincidences. They are messages in disguise, information that is reaching you through the most unlikely channels to make sure you don't miss what you need to hear. The second type of signal will come through external situations and events. Job opportunities that will appear out of nowhere, unexpected changes in important relationships, problems or obstacles that will appear exactly where you least expected them, news or information that will reach you at the perfect time to influence an important decision. These events are not random. They are being orchestrated to force you out of the passive position you have maintained in relation to your own life, to force you to take actions that you have been putting off out of fear or complacency. And the third type of sign, perhaps the most important, will come through your own intuition. Strange feelings you'll have about certain people or situations, dreams that seem more real than reality, sudden insights that will come at the most unexpected moments. A sudden clarity about things that seemed confusing weeks ago. These internal signs are the most precious because they come directly from your inner wisdom, which has always known what was best for you, but which you've been ignoring because you prefer to trust only what you can see and touch. Will you be able to distinguish between your usual fears and the genuine warnings your intuition will send you? Taurus. There's something about you that you may never have fully realized. Beneath all that striving for stability and security, there's an adventurous spirit that's been systematically suppressed. There's a part of you that thrives on challenges, that feels alive when you're exploring unknown territories, that has innovative ideas and ambitious dreams. But that part has been kept quiet because it doesn't fit into the image you have of yourself as a practical, down-to-earth person. The signs of this last week of June will awaken exactly that forgotten part of your personality. And when that happens, you'll remember dreams you've abandoned, passions you've buried, possibilities you've rejected because they seemed too risky. This will be both liberating and terrifying. Liberating because you will finally reconnect with the authentic aspects of your nature that make you feel truly alive. Terrifying because it will mean that you may have wasted years of your life following a path that wasn't truly yours. It will mean that some of the choices you made in search of security may have kept you from the experiences that would truly give you meaning. But don't beat yourself up over it. You did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. And now you are being given the opportunity to make different choices, based on a deeper understanding of who you really are. What impresses me most about the signs you'll receive is how precisely they'll target the areas of your life where you need change the most. If you've been stuck in a relationship that no longer nourishes you, the signs will show you real alternatives. If you've been in a career that doesn't spark your passion, opportunities will present themselves to take you in directions that are more aligned with your true talents. If you've been living in a city or situation that limits your growth, the possibilities for change will present themselves in a clear and accessible way. It's as if there's a higher intelligence that knows you better than you know yourself, and that's organizing the events of your life to give you exactly what you need to evolve. But here's what you need to understand. This intelligence will not make the choices for you. It can only create the opportunities, show the paths, illuminate the possibilities. The final decision will always be yours. And that's why the signs will come with a sense of urgency, not because you need to despair or make hasty decisions, but because there is a limited window of time for you to take advantage of the opportunities that are being offered. Some doors that will open for you in this last week of June will not remain open indefinitely. Some people who will appear in your life will not be available forever. Some opportunities that will arise have an expiration date. Taurus, you've always been known for your persistence and determination. When you really want something, you won't give up until you get it. But there's a difference between intelligent persistence and self-destructive stubbornness. And lately, you may have confused the two. You may have persisted in situations that should have ended by now. You may have continued to invest energy in people or projects that no longer matched your interests. You may have held on to a version of your life that no longer serves your growth. The signs of this last week of June will help you make that distinction. They will show you where it's worth continuing to fight and where it's time to let go. And letting go is not giving up. It is acknowledging that you have evolved beyond what once seemed essential to your happiness. It is accepting that what you wanted in the past may no longer be what you need in the present. It is having the courage to make room in your life for better things, even when that means saying goodbye to things that were once important to you. During this week, you will feel the tension between holding on and letting go, between continuing and starting over, between staying and leaving, and you will have to make choices that will define the next few years of your life. Are you prepared to choose growth, even when it means leaving familiarity and comfort behind? One of the most important things to understand about the signs that are coming is that they won't arrive in an obvious or dramatic way. Taurus has a tendency to wait for big, obvious changes to take action, but life rarely works that way. Most significant changes start with small signs, small shifts, small opportunities that seem insignificant on the surface, but carry the potential to change everything. A seemingly casual comment that plants a seed in your mind, an unexpected invitation that leads you to meet important people, a piece of information you receive by chance that opens up a whole new path. That's why you need to pay attention to the details during this last week of June. Pay attention to the conversations you have, even the ones that seem trivial. Observe the people who cross your path, especially those who appear in unusual circumstances. Notice the patterns that begin to emerge in your life, the repetitions that may seem like coincidences but carry important messages. Listen to your intuition when it whispers that something isn't right or that something is about to change. Your Taurian instincts are incredibly accurate when you stop trying to rationalize them and simply trust what you're feeling. What you discover this week may challenge some of your most fundamental beliefs about what's possible for you. It may reveal potential you never knew you had. It may show you paths that seemed impossible or out of reach. It may show you versions of yourself that you never considered viable. And that can be scary because it will mean that you've been underestimating your own capabilities for far too long. It will mean that you've been settling for less than you truly deserved because you believed it was safer to stay small than to risk being big. But here's a truth that few understand. The greatest risk is not trying and failing. The greatest risk is never trying and spending the rest of your life wondering, what if? The greatest risk is reaching the end of your journey and realizing that you wasted your unique talents because you were afraid to step outside your comfort zone. The greatest risk is looking back and seeing that you consistently chose mediocre security over authentic adventure. The signs of this last week of June are coming to save you from that fate, to give you one last chance to choose courage over fear. During this week, you will probably experience moments of confusion and internal conflict. You will question decisions you made years ago. You will wonder if you really know yourself as well as you thought you did. You will feel the urge to make changes that will seem impulsive to those who know you. And the people around you may try to convince you not to do anything rash, to think things through, to be more cautious. But you need to understand that this external resistance is just a reflection of their own fear of change. When someone close to you begins to evolve and expand, it confronts everyone else with their own self-imposed limitations. Don't let the fear of others influence your decisions during this crucial week. Don't let the need for external approval keep you from following the signs that are clearly being directed at you. Remember that you are the only one who has to live with the consequences of your choices. You are the only one who has to wake up every day to a life that may be below your potential. You are the only one who can decide whether you will spend the next few years repeating the same patterns, or whether you will finally have the courage to explore uncharted territories of your own existence. Taurus, one thing that has always impressed me about your sign is your capacity for slow but profound transformation. When you finally decide it's time for a change, you don't make superficial changes. You rebuild your entire life from scratch, brick by brick, until you create something completely new and solid. And that's exactly the kind of transformation that the signs of this last week of June are announcing. Not cosmetic changes that leave everything fundamentally the same, but a quiet revolution that will affect every aspect of your existence. It can seem daunting to think about rebuilding your life at this point in the game. You may feel like you're too invested in your current path to consider radical alternatives. You may believe that it's too late to make big changes, that you should settle for small adjustments on the margins. But that's a limiting belief that doesn't match reality. It's never too late for an authentic person to reconnect with their essence and build a life that truly matches their deepest values. It's never too late for a courageous person to embrace possibilities that once seemed impossible. And you are much more authentic and much more courageous than you've allowed yourself to be. The signs that are coming will remind you of this. They will awaken aspects of your personality that have been dormant. They will activate dreams that you had buried. They will rekindle passions that you had abandoned. And when this happens, you will wonder how you managed to live so long disconnected from this vital part of yourself. You will wonder why you accepted a diminished version of your existence when an expanded version was always available. You will wonder what other incredible possibilities are waiting for you on the other side of your self-imposed limitations. The last week of June will be a turning point in your life. It will mark the end of an era of conformity and the beginning of an era of authenticity. It will separate the time when you lived according to external expectations from the time when you finally decided to live according to your inner truth. It won't be easy, it won't be comfortable, it won't be predictable, but it will be real. It will be yours. It will be the beginning of the life you always knew was possible, but never had the courage to pursue. Are you ready to receive the signs that will change everything? Are you prepared to act on them, even when it means leaving behind everything that gave you a false sense of security? If this video reached you right now, it's no coincidence. It's because you're energetically ready to receive this information. It means that the signs have already started to appear in your life, even if you haven't fully recognized them yet. Share in the comments if you've been feeling any strange restlessness lately, any feeling that something important is about to happen. Your experiences will help other Taurians identify the first signs in their own lives. Subscribe to the channel now, because what will happen to you in this last week of June is just the beginning. You will need guidance on how to interpret the signs that are coming, how to make the right decisions at crucial moments, how to navigate the changes without losing your center. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any important information about the next steps of this transformative journey. Remember, the signs are coming whether you're ready or not. The only difference is whether you recognize them and act on them, or whether you let another opportunity to evolve into the next version of yourself slip by. Your Taurus soul knows what the right choice is. Now, you just need to have the courage to follow what it's telling you.